Most people with a weight loss goal, they go all guns blazing in the beginning and then they just die off. In fact, 96% of people who lose some weight, like intentionally, they gain it back. So this video, I want to show you a simple shift to ensure you don't fall into that 96%. My name is Joe, I'm a dietitian, and we work with our clients completely online. If you've decided that like motivation and willpower just doesn't work for you, like you identify as a yo-yo dieter, you've lost weight, you gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, and you've done that for years and years, and motivation is just not the answer for you, then please watch the rest of this video. It's exactly what I'm going to talk about. I also have a guide for you at the end if you want that, and it really builds upon what we do. It's a free guide. I'll explain it at the end. So here's the thing, weight loss, typically at a new diet, when you try something new, you're feeling motivated, right? You want to do it, and so you do it, and you get some results early on. This happens with pretty much everyone. A lot of it's probably water weight, particularly if you go low carb, but the point being that you get results at the start, and that kind of fuels you to keep going, and then it slows down and you start to lose that motivation, right? And this is the problem. So we start with high motivation or willpower. I use the two interchangeably. Those things are finite. They run out. And so as soon as your results start to slow down, which they will, because it's always like you make a change and you lose weight fast, and then it's going to level off and become a more steady pace. And when you lose that quick trajectory that you had, where you were thinking, wow, at this rate, I'll be down 20 pounds in a few days or a few weeks, you start to lose that motivation and willpower. And regardless of what happens, it typically runs out. Like most of us, we can run out of that pretty quickly. If you are relying on that to, and hoping that's gonna keep you going for the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months plus, you are going to have a bad time. So what's the answer? How do you keep on track and keep motivation or willpower? Well, they're not what you want to build upon. What you have to practice and build and strengthen is your discipline. Discipline is doing small things over time that will add up. Discipline ultimately equals the freedom that you are aiming for. Remember, like, motivation is doing something when you feel like doing it, like the start of a diet. Motivation is doing something when you feel like doing it. Discipline is doing something even when you don't. And that is the key, because life is always going to throw you curveballs and get in the way, and things are going to come up, and it's so easy to make excuses. We can always find excuses if we look for them. Motivation, willpower will never overcome those excuses and life happening. But discipline, building discipline, getting to your goal in these small little steps that you do, they're non-negotiable. The things that you'll do them even if you don't feel like doing them. That has to start small, but if you're consistent with it, that is the key to getting to your goal, particularly if your goal is going to take many months. Again, motivation is doing something when you feel like doing it. Discipline is doing something when you don't, and you're not going to feel like doing the things you have to do. For example, let's just say going to the gym. There's going to be plenty of instances where you don't feel like doing it, but when you practice a discipline, when it becomes a non-negotiable, you'll do it anyway. And that is the difference between those who are successful with it and those who are not. So then how do you create discipline, right? Well, I'd love to be disciplined, Joe, but I'm not. Well, you have to start by, discipline is the environment you create around you. So you have to create an environment of discipline, an environment that encourages discipline. And one major way you can do that is by creating accountability to help guide you and keep you honest. You have to have something on the line that, whether it's pride, you've told someone and you don't want to let them down, whether it's time, a promise that you've made. Maybe it's money, right? You've invested in a coach or consulting or something like that. you have to have skin in the game, something to lose. That creates real accountability. You can't just tell your husband who, that, oh, I'm going to do this diet, honey, and I'll get to this goal. Especially if you've told them that before and that didn't work many times, because the relationship, the dynamic of that relationship can't keep you accountable. It's unfair. It's not possible. It has to be, it has to be done in a particular way. I use that example because I see it a lot, but ultimately you need to have accountability from a human who is a professional, who doesn't have an existing relationship with you, who can really help you out when you're down, where you feel you can talk about anything, and who also, they won't hold back to call you out and tell you how it is. Because if I'm the accountability person for my partner, like, there's no way I'm going to tell her certain things, because it's just, I know it's going to affect other aspects of our relationship. So then I would actually be a terrible person to keep her accountable. So you need that person to be objective. You need them to be able to call you out and help you stay on track, so you build that discipline. Because remember, discipline is what equals freedom. Discipline is how you actually get to your goal. And of course, there's other ways to help build discipline, but accountability is one of the easiest and I'd say the big percentage play there. And then discipline is what you really want to be focusing on, rather than motivation and willpower. And I'll say it one more time because I love this quote. Motivation is doing something when you feel like doing it. Discipline is doing something when you don't. And we need to focus on the when you don't part. So have a think about that. If you have any questions, let me know. Make sure you give us a thumb up or a heart if you found this useful. The guide. So I have a 50 science-based tips for weight loss, which it really builds on some of the things I talk about here, particularly the discipline. If you would like that, it's free. Just comment below. Just comment 50 tips below, and then I can send that to you. And if you prefer to private message me instead, then message me 50 tips, just like that. Then I know what to look for, and I can send you that guide.